So we've been in quarantine for a few weeks, and we're all starting to feel the effects. The bad news is that it's not over yet, and we really don't know exactly when it will be. The good news, however, is that what you're experiencing is known and understood. And so there are things you can do to minimize the stress and anxiety you feel in these trying times. A lot of you probably feel overwhelmed with the negativity and suffering around you. Feels like everything is falling apart and things only get worse by the day. While obsessively keeping up with the news and statistics may feel like the responsible thing to do, there really isn't anything you can do with that knowledge on a day to day basis. Really, you should try to limit your intake of social media and catch up on the news on alternating days or even just twice a week to limit how overwhelming everything can be. Now, most people are feeling additional stress at the moment due to financial constraints and governments failing to adequately assist during the crisis. While there might not be a whole lot you can do about the specific sources of these anxieties, it is important to find ways to unwind and to externalize your thoughts and feelings. Being bored is only going to make this worse. So, finding escape in a hobby or a series that you enjoy is a really good idea. If nothing comes to mind, maybe consider taking up a new hobby like reading, knitting, woodwork, or learning to play a new instrument. It's also important to keep in contact with your support system. You are not selfish for needing help, and you're not a burden for asking for it. You may find that you've been feeling really tired all the time since you've been in quarantine or even just self isolating. That might be your body's stress response to this threat. Like it's a virus. It's not something that you can fight, not something you can run from. So instead of fighting or fleeing, you freeze. You may even experience depersonalization and or derealization if you're acutely stressed enough. This is more common with people who have existing anxiety and traumatic disorder. The best thing you can do about it is to be kind to yourself. Let yourself be less productive and get more sleep if you need it. Your life has changed, and it's okay to let yourself change with it. Another very important thing to keep in mind is that humans are social animals, and that being alone for too long can legitimately hurt your health. Social isolation affects you in a similar way to other recognized health risks like obesity, smoking, inactivity, lack of access to health care, and can even be the cause of several of those other factors at the moment. It's important to take time every day or two to actively reach out to some friends, like via DMs or by phone, and if possible, go for regular walks. Try to stay around 10 feet away from other folks. Be sure to wash your hands thoroughly before and after you get home if you decide to go for a walk. And if you have a face mask, you should wear it too. As I alluded to before, keeping busy is vital and also a challenge. So if you're feeling antsy, and Netflix, video games, Twitch streams, reading, knitting, woodworking, or whatever the fuck isn't enough to keep your mind occupied, consider planning or organizing some kind of personal or local relief plan. I know that might sound lofty, but hear me out. Think of some things you can do to help yourself or others when another crisis occurs. Like planting a fruit tree, or buying surplus emergency rations, which not right now, but they will be surplus once this is all over with. And you should be able to, if you've got like the cash, you should be able to stock up on it pretty cheaply. Establishing a community network to keep in touch with your neighbors, or reaching out to people in your community, both with means and with needs, to see who can aid who when necessary. Or, if you're feeling sassy, maybe start organizing a union so your capitalist overlords won't have so much power over your livelihood next time. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found this informative, helpful, or at least a minor distraction. Just really try to take care of yourself, eh? If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. If you want to yell at me, you can do that too. That's good for the algorithm. If you liked this, you found it useful or whatever, let me know. Actually like it. That's a pretty low threshold, I think. And if you'd like to see more of me on the regular, you can always check out my Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/GreatCanadianGuy, where I stream like 5 days a week now. Yeah, come check it out. Cool. It's fun.